Guys, welcome back to the channel. Davis of Flash Trades here. Another day, another video, obviously. Let's go. So I wanted to talk about my first trade back after a long trading break and just go over basically my weekly analysis. And I actually almost had two trades, very close to having two trades. I'll show you that trade once we go into it, but let's break down that first trade right now. Guys, we bounced on over to the trading video from Wednesday. Again, my first trade back after about a 3-month break. And let me go ahead and just get it started here. So trade was taken at 7 a.m. And once we go to trading view, I can explain the entry and everything a little bit more, but just kind of wanted to show you guys when I was recording this, it was about 3 p.m. The trade was taken at 7 a.m. So I kind of wanted to have more of the chart available to look at once I made this video, so you guys can see how it kind of moves after my trade. And this is on the 5-minute, so it's very kind of interesting to see all those candles. So here we go. We just see the trade, pretty short trade, less than 30 minutes. Not uncommon for me, but you know, usually the longer the better for me. I'd rather hold them as long as possible, obviously, but I will explain. I should have gotten a better entry, and that's kind of what we'll go into now. So let's pop over to trading view. And trading view, I'm going to go ahead and just keep the colors that you're seeing are the sessions. So it actually starts an hour before the session actually starts is when the colors happen. So obviously, you know, London session opens at 3 a.m., but the colors encompass 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. So it kind of just like makes it so you're kind of looking pre-market as well, because that's kind of, I consider that a part of the session. So like pre-New York, I consider that's the same color as New York type shit. So this is like what you're seeing here, and that's just, this was default for that add-in that I have. If you guys are interested, but let's go into the full week. So Monday, we did not have any available trades to us. So we do like to trade between about 7 a.m. to about 2 p.m. And the candles just weren't really printing in a way to where we had any trades available to us. Basically, once we had a good range to trade, it was just too late in the day. And so, you know, maybe possible trades, but just not really something that I would be interested in taking. Tuesday, like, this is one where you can say, like, and this is the 1 hour. I'm just going to keep it on the 1 hour for this full analysis, more or less, aside from the trade breakdown. So Tuesday, completely chalked, guys. Look at all these wicks. Like, when you're wicking back into a zone nonstop, that's a no trade day. Like, unless you're a scalper and you're like, maybe, I know I said I was gonna like stay on this time frame, but yeah, you know. So maybe if you're a scalper, see, if we're on the 5-minute, okay, maybe you got some like play that movement right there. But I mean, if you're seeing on the higher time frames that you're literally just like not breaking out of a certain zone, especially on the higher time frame candles like the 1 hour, I believe the 30-minute was pretty similar as well. Yeah, see, it's just wicking. That's a no-go. That's a no-go. So Tuesday was a no-go. Now, basically Wednesday was when we started to see some stuff start to shape up. And one of my favorite setups, guys, so we're on the 30-minute. I'm gonna try to keep you guys posted when I switch time frame. Sorry, I'm locked in. So let's talk about the trade and the reason that I took it. So we're on the 30-minute right now, but when we look at on the higher time frames, so let's just go to the 4 hour. We don't really need to look at the daily, because basically our consensus was that buys were going to happen. We're just waiting for retracement and then an entry. And then these are the lines that I basically drew out on Tuesday night. You guys know I always will have my trend lines drawn out and I just haven't updated my chart since Tuesday night. Basically, I know I said you should really change your markings, but like the way it was moving, it was just like staying in these the markings so well that I didn't update them. So it is what it is. I mean, all right, so I'm getting carried away here. So basically, as you guys can see, the 4 hour, we're basically kind of losing velocity to the bottom side. You see it bottoming out an Asian session, and these are like the perfect setups, guys, especially when I'm expecting this type of move to happen. Like I'm drawing, it's either gonna immediately, because the thing is, it can't go, well, in my opinion, with how the chart was, it cannot go any higher without some retracement. After this movement right here, I mean, I don't think you have to be, that's like a crazy thing to say, that like, if you have this much upward movement, if you have 1,000 points, well, it's about 850 points of movement, you would probably anticipate some type of pullback before going higher. So that's basically what these trend lines are for. We need to retrace, because this isn't enough retracement for me. With this big of a movement, this wasn't enough. So, but once you see candles start printing a certain way, once you see long wicks down here, that's kind of when it cued me into what was going on. And then when you go to the lower time frames, that's where you kind of make your entry here. So we did enter on the 30-minute. So we did enter basically utilizing these 30-minute candles. Two of my favorite setups lined up. I'm with Trading View. You'll notice I was on the demo account, and I managed to get in at 135. So this would have been slightly early entry. My optimal entry would have been like right here when this candle opened, but Quan Tower wasn't open. One of my main things, guys, make sure your tools are up, but like it was just, like I said, I haven't been trading in a while, so I just didn't have it up. So it took a while to get up, and that's why I entered so late. But if I'm thinking a trade's gonna be a good trade, I don't really care if it's like, you know, you get in a little bit late. That's completely fine, because I'm expecting a large movement. So essentially we got in, but because it was late, I wasn't able to hold the trade as long as I needed to. You saw that it was 14 ticks. So from here, basically went up to about this area right here, and then decided to cut the trade as it was my first trade, like I said, and because I wanted to have my entry lower. This would have been the entry, and at that point I could break even and let it rock more. But because I got that late entry because of my mistake of not having my tools up, I just kind of had to take what I could, because I didn't really want to go into a larger pullback after the moves that I was seeing. So that was the Tuesday trade. Let's move on, guys. So this next trade would have actually been it would have been one of my Asian session trades that I would be taking on the My Funded Futures accounts. And basically the trade was literally like 1 or 2 ticks away from hitting and tagging me in for buys. Because you guys know from my Asian session, I basically just use my trend lines kind of, and just kind of have a order like where I think like the bottom would kind of be, and that's based on, you guys have kind of seen my strategy in other videos, but basically I was anticipating this is kind of where, because you see these wicks right here earlier in the chart of like an area of interest, I guess. I don't know if that's, but yeah, these areas of interest where you're seeing like, okay, wicked up here, we're seeing some stuff over here, like this is the next area where it's like, okay, so I mean if it comes down here and I have an order here, that makes a really good stop loss. Pretty much how I do the Asian session trades. Like if I can get a good stop loss and just have an order in a random spot, that is actually a lot more consistent than you would think. So basically we were literally like, it was probably a tick away from it hitting the order, guys. Did not get tagged in, and then it just has been running ever since that point. So it is what it, this is like, I'm not even gonna say I'm like frustrated or anything, but like this is like when you see traders go full tilt and stuff like this happens all the time. It's not like uncommon for, you're just like, wait, how does this happen? Like how am I like 1 tick away from my order getting tagged in? But it just happens, and you can watch, you know, the live streamers, you'll see it live, you'll see literally it just happens. It is what it is. So you just move on. And that was basically the week. Did not do anything today because I've had a lot of stuff to kind of run around and do. So those were kind of the two trades. Thursday could have been a banger, but like I said, it just missed my order. And Wednesday, if I had a better entry, we would have been able to hold a little bit. So that concludes the video, guys. I don't want to make it too long, but appreciate you watching. Gonna have a lot more updates and try to get more actual trading content, like trading videos out. And I do a lot more like education stuff, I feel like, and I think it's kind of cool to actually see me trade. So I'm gonna try to do that. And hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and comment down below if you took a trade this week. I'll catch you later.